Hey guys, welcome back to Claim Brandalorian. I'm the Brandalorian, and let's get into this quick video today. As most or some of you know, I'm a huge fan of Boba Fett. I loved how he was portrayed back in the original trilogy, a nice mysterious character, and just overall looks awesome. And we get to see Boba Fett in the prequel trilogy as well as a young child, an unaltered clone of Jango Fett. And then of course in The Mandalorian Season 2, he is brought back to existence and he survived what happened in Return of the Jedi. Falling into the Sarlacc Pit, we thought everything was over with our character, but we get him back and almost better than ever. And of course he gets his own show, The Book of Boba Fett, which is basically The Mandalorian Season 2.5. It still had some great moments. And we also learn in a commentary track for The Return of the Jedi, George Lucas had some things to say about Boba Fett himself. And this is George Lucas as I quote, "In the case of Boba Fett's death, had I known that he was going to turn into such a popular character, I probably would have made it a little bit more exciting. Boba Fett was just another one of the minions, another one of the bounty hunters and bad guys. But he became such a favorite for having such a small part, he had a very large presence. And now that his history has been told in the prequel trilogy, it makes it even more of a misstep that we wouldn't have made out more of his event in his defeat. Because most people don't believe that he died anyway. I had contemplated putting that extra shot in where he climbs out of the hole, but I had figured it didn't quite fit. The main character that ultimately dies in the scene is Jabba the Hutt. And see, it's times like this, like how did I ever miss this? You know, for such a small character in the original trilogy, this is so much more to be said. And with Boba Fett having such a small appearance, George Lucas even knows himself that he just became such a big character. And it wasn't intended for Boba Fett to be, you know, one of the main characters even in this scene alone. And just like George said, the main point of the entire scene was that Jabba the Hutt dies. But let's say it's 1983 and we're getting Return of the Jedi, and right after that entire scene, maybe, you know, around the sandstorm scene where Luke and the rest of the crew are going through the sandstorm trying to get out of Tatooine, maybe right then and there we get to see Boba Fett escape the Sarlacc. And not everyone loved how he escaped the Sarlacc in the Book of Boba Fett, but I still enjoyed that myself. I thought it was really cool, you know, that there was another stormtrooper down there and he was able to get some oxygen, obviously passing out for a while. And of course, he just uses his flamethrower and gets out of the stomach of the Sarlacc and ultimately climbing out of the ground, getting stripped of his parts from Jawas and getting saved by the Tusken Raiders. But just imagine if we were to get that scene back in the original trilogy. Like, that would have been cool, and everyone would have known that Boba Fett survived and that he would be more of a prolonged character. But of course, with that not happening, we get more content with Boba Fett, obviously in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett. And it's almost 100% guaranteed that we will see him in the Heir to the Empire movie, Dave Filoni's movie. And I think this movie will actually be where we meet Boba Fett's demise. I think, you know, with Boba Fett getting old in age, being the daimyo of Mos Espa, I think his story is starting to wrap up a little bit. I think it'll be a sacrifice for the group, but we'll just have to see what happens. I just wanted to share that. I think it's really cool that George actually intended to go ahead and show Boba Fett coming out of the Sarlacc Pit and not intending for him to actually die in the movie. So this definitely would have shaped up a lot of the stuff that happened in the original trilogy, and especially with the fan base of those who actually loved Boba Fett. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Would you like to see Boba Fett escape the Sarlacc Pit in the original trilogy, or are you okay with it in today's age in Disney Star Wars? If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. It's a free way to let me know that the content is good. And of course, drop a like. Follow me on all socials. That's down in the description. And may the force be with all of you. Have a good day. Have a good week. Brandalorian, I'm out.